Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, Horrorboy465. Welcome back to some more reviews. And today I'm going to be talking about The Descent. Now, The Descent came out in 2005 at 7.2 in IMDb, directed by Neil Marshall. Now, The Descent is a film that I remember when I first seen this movie. This is one of those movies where I do remember the first time I saw this. I believe I seen this on Sci-Fi. Way back in the day when Sci-Fi used to be really good. It's still good, but remember back in those days where they played scary movies almost every single day, and not like, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I remember being a kid. I just remember them showing like more scary movies more often. Nowadays I think it's like, what is it, like every Saturday and Sunday, I believe. But I remember back when Sci-Fi used to show a lot of sci-fi, like a lot of horror movies a lot. And there was a lot of horror movies I discovered from Sci-Fi, like Dawn of the Dead, the remake, and The Descent. I remember when I first seen this on Sci-Fi, and it was definitely a creepy viewing. The director Neil Marshall was also the director of Doomsday, Centurion, and Dog Soldiers. Now, I haven't seen Dog Soldiers all the way through yet. I've watched a little bit of it, but I'll have to get another reviewing because I stopped watching. I think I ran out of time. I wasn't able to watch all the way through, so still gotta see Dog Soldiers. Doomsday, I remember being a pretty fun action movie in my opinion, and Centurion I thought was a pretty fun action movie as well. But The Descent, I mean, I have to say, out of the 2000s, definitely one of the more interesting, one of the more definitely classics of the 2000s. It's definitely got a great idea behind it. And of course, I remember back when, I think like after The Descent came out, I think like The Cave came out and The Cavern came out. Like after this movie came out, you had a lot of movies deal with like caves and stuff come out after this, like The Cave and The Cavern. I seen The Cavern. I don't remember it being that bad, but I have to give it a watch again. And I seen The Cave, but I wasn't really getting into it that much. It was like a PG-13 horror movie that just was not really that interesting in my opinion. But The Cavern, I remember that a little bit. I remember being okay. The Cave, not really a big fan of. But The Descent is definitely a great film. Really enjoyed this movie. An absolutely creepy, fun time. And I think it's creepy because it deals with multiple things that are definitely creepy and scary. First of all, dealing with, with caves and claustrophobia and these demon things, these monsters in this cave, and the lack of communication to the outside world and unable to get help. Sort of like Alien, the original Alien movie, when you're in outer space, no one can hear you scream. But when you're miles and miles below the Earth, well, when you're in a cave, you're just not able to communicate with the outside world. You're stuck there alone. And even if they get out of the cave, they're still sort of out in the middle of nowhere. So there really is kind of no escape from this cave. And I really enjoy that, the idea that they're completely isolated from the world. They're stuck in this dark cave. And I thought that the set design, the atmosphere was nailed in this film. The acting was great. The cast was great. This is one of those movies where it has a lot of stuff going for it. Gore effects, practical gore effects. Love the idea. Love the setting of this cave. I thought that it was used very well. And I like how, at first it starts off scary before even the monsters show up, before these demon things show up. It's definitely creepy before these things even show up because just the idea of being in this cave that collapses, and you're not able to get out, and there's this one part where one of the people gets stuck, and she's stuck in this sort of part of the cave, and these other characters trying to get her out of there and trying to keep her calm, and it's scary before the monsters even come into the movie. And I really enjoy that. How it starts off even creepy when it starts off. The idea alone is creepy. Being stuck in a cave, being stuck in these small crevices and small holes inside the cave and these small tunnels, and just not really knowing where to go. Dark, only having a limited amount of battery in the flashlight and stuff like that. Um, it just creates a lot of suspense. I think this is also a film that nails suspense. And then when the monsters come into play, it just adds on even more tension, even more suspense. Now, this does get a sequel. It does have The Descent Part 2, which came out in 2009 with a 5.8 on IMDb. That movie is bad. I don't know. I might review it one of these days, but it's honestly one of those horror movie sequels that I just don't care for because there's just a lot of problems with it. I mean, they kill off the lead character. There's a lot of scenes that I don't agree with. The cast is less interesting in that film. You don't really feel the claustrophobia in that film. You don't feel the atmosphere. And in my opinion, it just feels a little bit more just rushed and not really creepy, not really scary. Just not a big fan of The Descent Part 2. It's just a garbage sequel. So one of these days I will review it, but for right now I'm just going to stick to reviewing the original The Descent because I really enjoy it. But this is the original unrated cut with lots of gore, lots of gross out gore, and a new ending, which I don't mind. There's also some features that I haven't checked out yet, but I don't mind the ending to this film, the alternate ending, which I'll get to in a second. But pretty much what it's about is you've got this character named Sarah. The present day of this film takes place after her husband and her kid get into a car accident. The car accident kills her husband and her kid, and pretty much from there on, it takes place later on. She's out in the hills with her friends. They're doing whitewater rafting and stuff like that, and just having fun. And they want to go explore this cave. This cave way out in the country, way out in the middle of nowhere. And when they get there, they go into this cave, and the cave collapses. And they have to pretty much figure out the way out of there. They're not really sure where to go. Maybe this way will lead us out of here. Maybe this way will lead us out of here. And they sort of go on, and you discover these like demon things in this cave. And lots of them get killed off, and really gory stuff, or gashes of blood, like the bite marks are just chunks and blood squirting. Practical effects, and the scratch marks are all practical. And these monsters just kill off a lot of the group. And pretty much the ones that are left have to pretty much survive and try to get out of this cave. And these monsters, of course, they're blind, they can't see, so they rely off of hearing things. And this lead character becomes badass. She begins to kill these creatures, gets like a bone and like sticks one in the head with it. She like squashes their brains in and just dominates these demons, dominates them. And then from there on, her and the friends that are trying to get out of there come down to her and her last friend. She pretty much finds out that friend had killed one of their friends to get out of there. Actually, it was by accident. She stuck her pickaxe in the girl and it came out of her throat. But she didn't mean to kill her. So lead girl sticks the pickaxe in this girl's leg, and all these creatures are coming up the cave, and they're getting ready to kill the one girl, and the lead girl gets out of there, and it's pretty much the end of the film. And I also love the ending of the movie because it has some really great shots. The shot of her climbing up this mountain of bones, the music build up, breaking out of the ground, that classic shot where she just bursts out of the ground. She gets to the car, drives the car away. The music is beautiful in that scene. Great music. Really, really enjoyed the score. Try to say did the score here, but I really, really enjoyed it. Really, really good music. But I'm not really too sure who did the score for this. But definitely a good job. Really well done score. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it on the back of this DVD. David Julian, there it is. David Julian. Great score. Really enjoyed the music, especially the ending song. And she gets into her car. She's getting ready to drive away, and then you have a jump scare to her friend that she left behind. She wakes up. She's still in the cave. She sort of sees like a delusion of her daughter with a birthday cake, and then the movie ends. But the movie is very straightforward, a very, very creepy, fun time. The atmosphere is nailed. The characters are great. The acting is well done. The just overall film in general, just a lot of stuff going for this movie. But anyways, guys, that's my quick review on The Descent. Really enjoy it, and I definitely recommend it if you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, The Descent, I really enjoy this movie. I think it's a great fun time. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review of The Descent, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.